Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Alright, what it do, B1 family? Peace and love. As a matter of fact, peace, love, reparations. Peace, love, liberation. Peace, love, and black power to the last hour. What's going on? Hey yo, it feel like I've been around the whole country the last 2 weeks. Out here meeting a lot of foundational black Americans, young entrepreneurs, young business owners, just building relationships and black alpha networking, because that's what it's all about. Each one teach one, stand side by side, and we build. So I gotta send a special shout out to all the foundational black American brothers and sisters that I've been meeting, man, and we've been really trying to work on something to make this summer right here a memorable one. We already know it's gonna be, so we all just want to be a part of it. And that's how you do it. You find like-minded brothers and sisters who are on code and you build with them. You find like-minded foundational black Americans who are out here really trying to get to the bag, out here really trying to make something of themselves, and then you build with them. Anybody who's on code, man, that's how you do it. An on-code lifestyle is the only lifestyle, and ain't no money like on-code money. So go get it, man, go build this thing, and everybody out there, you know who you are. Let's keep doing this thing, man, and building it all the way up, because ain't nobody like us FBA, man. We come from a different cloth, we come from a whole different space. So we gonna give them that good work today, right here on the Black Alpha Network, certified BLACK. We in the motherfucking house. I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button, bang them notifications, and subscribe to the channel, because this right here is as thorough as it gets. One love. But yo, I'd be remiss real quick to not send another shout out to everybody who's been DMing me, listening to the Twitter spaces. Make sure you check them out. Them is fire. We got a whole different lane with ours. None of that babble, none of that bickering, none of that bullshit. It ain't ratchet, it's straight on code. All the hosts are on code, all the speakers are on code, and if somebody calls in and they ain't on code, we send in their ass the fuck up out of there. That's how you gotta do it. No wasted energy, no wasted motion, because we ain't got the time for it. Only time we got is time to get this check, to get these reparations, and to build our community as high as it can go and let motherfuckers know what time it is. So I send another salute to all of y'all. But let's get to work. Right now, we gotta talk about the Wynch court justice. Yeah, the Wynch court justice, y'all. We done seen it. We done seen the fake celebrations. We done seen the plantation celebrations. We done seen the goddamn tap dancing, the jigaboo. We done seen the whole goddamn charade. And it's going again. And it ain't nothing that we haven't already broke down before right here on the Black Alpha Network. It's things that we've already seen. Everybody's done watched the blueprint. We done seen the manuscript. And ain't it something that they'll play this game over and over and over? Going to the coon well is a well they can always rely on. There's always going to be coons, there's always going to be bootlicks, and they always going to go for the same shit. It don't matter if the year is 2022, 2042, 32, 52, 2002, 1992, 82. It don't fucking matter what year it is. They can always go get a coon. There's coons right now that ain't even living no more, that's doing the same shit that coons is doing today. You had coons doing dances in the motherfucking street way back in the 60s and 70s over crumbs. It's the same way you got coons dancing in the street right now over crumbs. Think about it. When Joe Biden got elected, y'all seen that embarrassing shit. Embarrassing. Black folks was literally doing the moonwalk, popping champagne bottles, talking about shit done got to better, y'alls. Black folks was doing the same dance yesterday. Come on. When Barack Obama got elected, black folks was crying in the street, kicking their fucking legs like cheerleaders, talking about things done got better, y'alls. Same shit that they was doing yesterday. When Martin Luther King got the Civil Rights Act signed, black folks is in the streets, dancing, parading, doing the same shit they did yesterday. So if you can go back 60 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you see the same shit over and over, that means you're dealing with the same low budget, down bottom motherfucker. COONs all the way around. And it's our job to do what we do over here, and that's called race regulate. And that's what we're gonna do right here today. And we're gonna start by this Kentanja Brown. I don't even, be honest with you, if y'all heard my last episode, I said it, I don't know her fucking name. I don't care how many times CNN talks about her, MSNBC, the Democrats, the Republicans, Joe Biden, Time Magazine can have a whole fucking Sambo edition. I don't know her name and have no means on knowing the motherfucking name. What I do know is that she's a zaddy dancer. She's from the Wynch Chronicles, and that's all the fuck I need to know right there. I got my motherfucking story. That's it. All that just celebrating black to be black, I don't do that shit. That's the same shit that got us in the position we're in now. That's the same shit that got black folks out here celebrating and dancing in the street for 60 years over crumbs. We don't do that over here on this side of the fence. On this side of the fence, you're gonna be B1, you're gonna be on code, or you're gonna be the fuck up out of here. You understand? As a matter of fact, she ain't even up out of here because she never stepped in here. We checking motherfuckers at the door. So all these motherfuckers can have their dances and they can throw these motherfucking parties and they can run that same con game over and over and over. Good, that's for them. Over here on this side, we gonna get to the bag and we gonna have some real dignity and honor. You know what I'm saying? Dignity and honor goes a long way, long way. All that shit you've been seeing on television, there ain't no honor in that. There ain't no honor in that. There ain't no honor in snuggling up underneath the dominant society to get some crumbs or some butter biscuits. That is literally the lowest shit that you can do on the planet. But that's their comfort zone. They feel comfortable being up underneath their oppressor. We feel comfortable being amongst ourselves, building our own, having our own, representing ours. That's what we are. So you see the drastic differences in life. Fuck opinions, fuck views, fuck approaches or policies. I'm talking about in life. And it gets no bigger than life as a whole spectrum. Us B1s, us certifieds, we like standing on our own, representing our own, living with our own. Them, on the other hand, they hate who they are, they don't like who they are, and if they ever get too far away from MASSA, they get real uncomfortable. Those are the people who did not want to leave the plantation during slavery. That's all you're watching. That's all. The same relationship between the master and the slave is the same shit that you see play out day to day. You don't have to go into a history book. No. Look around you. You see it every time you see a Democrat, every time you see a Republican. Both of those groups, they both have the massa mentality, and all the black folks inside of those groups have the slave mentality, and it never left. Straight up and down. Time may change, they may have took the shackles off and slavery might have ended, but them motherfuckers never left the plantation. Never. What they say, when you enslaved in your mind, that's a whole different kind of slavery. And it's clear to see that anybody who identifies as a Republican, still a slave. Anybody who identifies as a Democrat, still a slave. And a lot of other groups involved as well. Because like we always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, there's really no such thing as a black Democrat. There's no such thing as a black Republican. Now what you do have is slaves who work on those plantations. That's what it is. You remember during slavery how MASSA used to put his name on his slaves? So if MASSA's name is Johnson, he'll put Johnson on the slaves. If MASSA's name is Jackson, he'll put Jackson on the slave. And black folks would run around here claiming someone else's last name. That's the same exact thing with black Democrats and Republicans. You're running around here claiming somebody else's last name. And that someone else is MASSA. Whether that's Joe Biden, whether that was Donald Trump, whether that was Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, so on and so forth, these black folks who celebrate nothing over and over and over are the people who are still living on the plantation. That's it. That's it. We over here saying B1, they over here saying Democrat. We over here saying foundational black American, they still out here talking about the African American. They so fucking out of touch. Ain't nobody out here in these streets representing that. Nobody. Ain't nobody running around these streets no more talking about I'm an African American. Ain't nobody running around these streets talking about I'm a POC or a minority. Anytime someone says that, they already just admitted to you that they so fucking out of touch, you don't even need to listen to them no more. They disqualified their goddamn self. Disqualified. So that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the black folks who left the plantation years ago versus the black folks who never left the plantation. And that's why you celebrate nothing over and over and over. A bare minimum black. I got an episode on that. Go check that out. I said that about a year or two ago. Black folks have that bare minimum mentality. And then they get upset when the other black folks do not have that same thought process. We don't represent that shit. I want it all. I want it all. When it comes to foundational black Americans, my people, I want it all. I want every motherfucking dollar. I want every goddamn penny, diamonds, gold, whatever. If that shit got value, I want it over here in abundance on the foundational black American side. Them, they don't want none of that shit. As a matter of fact, Even if they attain it, they gonna go hand that shit over to MASSA. That's what you're talking about. And this is why they put all these coon liaisons in the middle. And that's all Ketanji Jackson Brown Jackson, or whatever the fuck. That's all she is. What we call her right here on the Black Alpha Network, that is not your Supreme Court Justice. That is your Wynch Court Justice. Yes, I said it. The bed Wynch Court Justice. That's who she is. And we're going to break down every single reason why Joe Biden put her in the position that he did. Trust me, he would prefer a Karen. All right? Anytime they put a black face somewhere high, is because black folks have gotten on code. Oh yeah, when black folks were starting to get on code, they threw us Obama. When black folks were starting to get on code, they threw us Kamala. They throw us this chick. They'll do it over and over and over, time and time again. They did this back in the 1980s. Coming out of the civil rights era, when there was that boom of all those black politicians, what that was, where black folks had made so much progress during the civil rights struggle. And I'm not talking about people down in Selma. I'm not talking about them sit-ins and getting milkshakes poured over your fucking head. I ain't talking about none of that. That's the biggest myth of the civil rights era. The civil rights era was really about black folks in these streets putting it down. That's what it's really about. And that's the shit that never makes the headlines. That's the shit that never made the news. But if you know anybody old enough from that era, go talk to them. They'll tell you our brothers and sisters was out here riding. The sisters was on the front line big time. All that bullshit that they be trying to kick with that black girl magic and all that shit, sisters wasn't riding with none of that shit in the 1980s. Fuck no. Not in the 1970s and 60s, any of that. Black folks was riding and our sisters was really taking it up. Go look at all the Black Panther Party. Go look at it. The majority of people in the Black Panther Party were sisters. Yes, indeed, that is a hidden fact no one wants to talk about. You see the Huey Newtons, the Bobby Seals, the Bobby Huttons, the Eldridge Cleavers, the Fred Hamptons, the John Huggins, the Albert Howards. But what they don't tell you is all the sisters who is out there in the streets putting in that work. And I ain't just talking about feeding the kids. I'm not just talking about the food programs neither. No, I'm talking about on the front lines. Yes, indeed. And they was full riders and they came ready. They came ready. And after all of that occurred, the dominant society do what they always do. They went back to the supremacist drawing board and they said, well, let's go give them a bunch of token politicians. And when they gave us them token politicians, the banjos came out, the bootlickers came out, and they threw them same plantation celebrations that they threw yesterday. Same thing. Remember, a coon is always readily available. Yes, they can always just point to anywhere on the map and go pull coon out. 5, 6, 7 of the motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's like when you see raccoons running up the fucking street and they just come in flocks. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. And this is what happened yesterday, and this is what happened back then. So they always put these token people in positions to distract us. I said on the Twitter space just the other day, I said they always want to miseducate, misrepresent, and misdirect. Those are the 3 things that they always try to pull on black folks. And the onus is on us to have that trained eye. You gotta have that trained eye. When you're dealing with supremacy and when you're dealing with the minions of supremacy, you have to have the trained eye so you can see something that's been going on for 60 years. They celebrate like shit is new. That's the crazy thing about it. They celebrate all of these tokenisms like these things are first timers. How you celebrating something that's went on 60 years, 100 different times like it's the first time? You got a whole list of how many times this shit has failed, how many times this shit has deceived, and how many times this shit has been a bold-faced lie. And they still celebrate the shit. And then on top of celebrating something that has always happened and always failed, they're celebrating nothings over and over and over. It's one thing. Listen, family, feel me now. Feel me. It's one thing to celebrate something that is actually tangible, something that actually exists, something that has actually moved our condition. And then it's another thing to celebrate a zero, something that has never done shit. These motherfuckers are celebrating nothing at all, and they're doing it like it's the best thing on earth. So you got to ask yourself, is this really about tangibles? Is this really about celebration? Is this really about a seat at the table? Is this really about being represented? Or is this really just about what it's always been about? You love MASSA. You're a straight up and down MASSA lover. You will always be a MASSA lover, and anyone who does not love MASSA is your enemy. That's what it is. And that's why there's always been this conflict amongst the off-code blacks versus us on-code blacks. They always have a problem with us. See, every other group, when you examine it, their sellouts like to leave their communities. That's what happens. When you got a problem with North Korea, you get the fuck out of North Korea. You understand? When you got a problem with China, you get the fuck out of China and don't want to be nowhere near the people they sold out. We have this thing where our sellouts want to stay right here and bring everybody down. If I'm gonna be a slave, everybody's gonna be a slave because it's actually monetized. This goes back to what Dr. Claude Anderson spoke about with meritorious manumission, where black folks literally get benefits from bringing down everybody else. Black folks literally get benefits for keeping everybody on the plantation. That's why our sellouts never leave. They stay here. And people like Joe Biden, they know how to milk that. Made a whole goddamn career off of milking that. The whole Democratic Party has made their existence off of milking coons within the black community, what we call bootlicks. Their whole economic base, their whole voter block is all based on black folks falling for the bullshit. And when us B1s don't fall for the bullshit, they send out a whole campaign against us. And you're seeing it now. And that's what leads us to the Wynch Court Justice, the Bed Wynch Chronicles. They send this lady out right now for 3 different reasons, and we're gonna break down each and every one of them. The first, symbolism. Symbolism. They exchange tangibles for symbolism, resources for symbolism, money for symbolism. It's the same game that they always try to run on black folks. Every other community has a policy based on politics. We get policies based on symbols. That's it. You ain't gonna get no fucking tangibles, you're gonna get a t-shirt. You ain't gonna get no tangibles, you're gonna get a hairdo. You ain't gonna get no tangibles, you're gonna get a Negro spiritual. That's what they always go for. So symbology is number 1. 2, Joe Biden's low ass numbers with the black community, and that is all thanks to us, ladies and gentlemen. Trust and believe. If it wasn't for B1s, a certified black society, doing what we do, saying what we say, creating the narrative and pushing the front line like we've been pushing for the last decade, this shit would not be happening. They would throw out and roll out every goddamn symbol and gesture, and it wouldn't be a few coons dancing, it'd be a whole fucking block of them. But right now, they're starting to disappear. You're seeing less and less and less. And the ones that you do see are very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Roland Martin, he looked like he dehydrated every time I see him. But Joy Reid, her wig is sliding to the side. She can't even get that lined up right. We got him shook. Because when certified step into place and we start speaking our terminology and we start laying down our facts, they have no choice but to face it. You can't run from B1s. Our facts are too strong and our talking points are too potent. That's why everybody wanted to talk politics a few years ago and don't nobody want to say shit now. The same motherfucker who wanted to talk about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they got hush real quick. Because B1s, we done put it on the line. We done laughed at their ass. Oh, by the way, speaking of laughing, that we done came a long way for Miss Jackson's song and dance was the biggest coon shit I ever seen in my goddamn life. What the fuck was that, family? Not one of y'all seen that shit and didn't cringe. If you weren't cringing, you was laughing. Or probably both. What the fuck was that? Somebody get them a Sambo Grammy right now. No other nominees, no other motherfucking people on stage. Just let them come up and get it. Just give it to them now. They earned that shit. They embarrassed themselves for life. Y'all put that shit on the internet? Y'all put that shit on the internet? Y'all kids gotta see that shit. They gonna wanna know why you was cooning to that degree. They gonna be scared to go to school. You done fuck your baby's life up. What the fuck was that? Hey, there's cooning and then there was that shit. Poor kids gotta see their damn parents acting like that. Damn shame what cooning to do to you. Cooning is a hell of a drug, y'all. Hell of a drug. And they was high than a motherfucker. Straight up. Hey, and that's what it is. B1s, we laughing at them. We laughing at their ass. And they can't take it. That's why they so angry and upset. That's why they detest it right now. We laughing at them and black folks ain't going to the voter box and ain't breaking their back to support them right now. If you look at the state of Georgia, Herschel Walker. I mean, this guy is a fucking clown. Herschel Walker is beating Raphael Warnock. And they put all types of money into him. Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, they're basically the supremacist minions in the state of Georgia. And they done put all types of resources behind them. And he's losing right now to Herschel Walker. Yes, y'all know who Herschel Walker is. And if you don't, go ahead and look it up and you're gonna laugh some more because that motherfucker's out of his mind. And he's beating Raphael Warnock. I seen it a year ago when Raphael Warnock won and they had Stacey Abrams and Joe Biden. They was in here talking about Georgia. We done flipped it and that motherfucker done flipped back. You done had the gymnastics in this motherfucker. They thought they flipped that bitch blue and red came back around. Why did red come back around? Because B1s have exposed every single lie that they tell us. And we realize that the red party and the blue party are the same party. It's the W party. They may not know that shit. They may not want to admit that shit. They may not want to accept that shit. But we do. And we done put that out there and we done exposed them. That's why I always say, they can have all the television, they can have all the platforms, they can have all the publications. It don't matter, because when B1 talk, motherfuckers listen. And that's exactly what's happening. And this is why Joe Biden's numbers are so low. So that's why he ran and got his Wynch court justice and put her on the front line. It was an act of desperation, y'all. An act of desperation. He wanted to give that to Karen. That seat was for Karen. He dearly wanted to give that to Karen, but he couldn't do it because he had to appease black voters. So that symbolism, his low numbers, and 3, reparations. Oh yeah, we start talking about reparations and they're afraid that our reparation movement is starting to take off. We're starting to get momentum behind it. We're really getting some ground here. We're laying down a blueprint. And black folks are devoting our time, energy, and effort to getting this landmark achievement done for foundationals. And that shit got them shook. They're afraid of our momentum. They're afraid of our unity. They're afraid of how galvanized and motivated we are. And trust me, that shit got them shook. They looking and all their coons are disappearing. And the only people they see standing are foundational black Americans. And it ain't no pipe dream or we just saying some random shit or some vague reparations claim. No, this is an accurate, articulate, thought out plan by millions of great minds. And these great minds are all putting the pieces on the board together and connecting the dots. And they hate that shit. They hate it. We got real legitimate sentiments that we're pushing forward. We got real strong narratives and microcosms that reflect the path that we're on. And that shit got them shaking right now. So this is why they go get her. And the reason why they got to go get her is because if we start talking about reparations on a federal level, they need somebody to be that swing vote. And they went and said, where is the biggest zaddy dancer we can find? Where is somebody who has a terrible record for foundational black Americans? Somebody that whenever presented with the reparations claim can knock it down ASAP. And it's her. So this is one of the reasons why they went and seeked her out. Trust me, everything is done for a reason, a rhyme and a reason. And they got a rhyme and a reason to every move they make. Because y'all know damn well, Joe Biden, he is Mr. Anti-Black. And she is an anti-black black. And Kamala Harris is an anti-black act black. Follow me now, y'all. There's a lot of anti-blacks in here, and all 3 of them got it. That little picture where you seen them all walking together, that was an anti-black W, an anti-black black, and an anti-black act black person. You feel me? Because Kamala Harris is an act black, because she ain't really black. And there's a whole lot of anti-blackness in the room, and there's always a whole lot of anti-blackness anytime you're talking about the Democratic Party. So that is symbolism, low poll numbers, and to stop our reparations claim from coming, because it's going to try to have to pass her. This is one of the reasons why we're going to have to start doing it on a state and local level, because if we try to push it on the federal level, she's going to try to deem it as unconstitutional. Now mind you, there's a bunch of other anti-black Supreme Court justices, but her, oh, she's special. Oh, she's special. Her track record is so goddamn filthy. We done pulled her paperwork. And a lot of people are talking about her background. Yeah, once again, this FBA's B1's on code again. Back in the old days, they just throw somebody out there. Barack Obama, nobody checked his paperwork. A few people did, but most folks were just saying, yes, we can. And they went and voted for him. They fell for that game. You know, with her in this era today, nah. This is the B1 era. Remember, I'm gonna say it again. I've said it before. 5 eras of foundational black Americans. The indigenous era, slavery, Reconstruction, civil rights, and the B1 era. And the difference between the B1 era and every other era is that we pull paperwork in this motherfucker. Yes, and we done pulled her paperwork and that shit is trash. You're not just gonna come up in our house no more and no one checks you. Everybody's getting checked at the fucking door. And her paperwork has came back with so many fucking marks and blemishes and incompletes. It's pathetic. Yes, indeed. First off, we all know she's a zaddy dancer. We all know she's an I want to be a Karen. We all understand that. That's easy. Her track record of treating foundational black Americans with any sort of justice, a lie. It's a goddamn lie. This is no victory for black folks. How it's gonna be a victory for black folks when the black person you're talking about is anti-black they damn self? You understand? No victory for black folks. If you ever look at any of her history, first off, y'all notice they've been real hush about it, right? I've even heard some of that shit has been swiped. Yeah, oh yeah, because they know we looking. So they running. They say, let's get this shit off the net before people find out more. This is what happens when the B1 era is in full effect, y'all. When B1 era is in full effect, they start going to all types of drastic measures to keep information from us. But like I said earlier, you can run, you can hide, but we're gonna walk your ass down. Now, one thing the foundational black Americans have found out, that in 25 cases, 22 were pursued by black plaintiffs. Miss Jackson, she went against 19 of them. One more time. Out of 25 cases, 22 of them were pursued by black folks, and she ruled against 19 of them. That is an anti-black black. Yes, indeed. What victory is that, ladies and gentlemen? I played in my last episode. Someone asked her, can you explain racism? She couldn't even explain it. She couldn't explain being a woman. I mean, the only thing that she can explain is being a zaddy dancer. That's it. I mean, I guarantee if you asked her that question, she'll break that shit down to the T. You ask her anything about supremacy, you ask her anything about justice, you ask her about anything from the black community, nothing. Zero. This is what they dancing in the street for, y'all? That's a victory, right? Okay, let's go further. Everyone says, well, where are you from? I mean, who are you? I mean, what's your background? What you about? You know what I'm saying? We want to know, what's your resume? And word on the street is that she's non-FBA. And a lot of Nigerians are celebrating her. A lot of people are saying that her family, father, mother, are both non-FBAs. Just like Barack Obama, non-FBA. Just like Kamala Harris, non-FBA. The same way they go over there and they go get them British actors to come over here and play us, or the same reason why they go over to Africa and they bring these folks in and try to put them above us, it's the same way they do in politics, y'all. Once again, we got receipts. It ain't like we making this shit up. You can point to every single thing that we say. And she is a non-FBA from a non-FBA background. And you notice they don't talk about her parents? No, they keep it away. Now, when black folks weren't on code, they told you about Barack Obama's daddy every day. Oh yeah, Barack Obama's daddy, his daddy. Because black folks used to let that shit slide because they weren't on code. Now we on code, they like, oh, hold on. There's this FBA movement right now. And they're not really riding with all these people who come over here and try to talk down on them or try to elevate themselves above us. We got to go ahead and keep the whole non-FBA parent thing. We need to keep that hush hush. But they don't know, we already found out. They could try to get us, man, but we too quick, we too fast, we too smooth, we too focused, and we too on code. So her parents are non-FBA. She has nothing but non-FBA policies. Her husband is non-FBA. Her husband is non-BA. Her husband is non-B. So what the fuck is she doing for certified black society, y'all? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. She's only doing what Joe Biden tells her to do, and she's only carrying the water for the Democratic Party, just like the rest of them. Once again, same con game, out the same trick bag, but the only difference is we was ready for it when they showed up. And yes, that's the beauty of being on code. When you're on code, you see things from a mile away, and we've seen it all. This is why they got to do all this shit. And if you notice, it's been real manufactured. They're trying to really like manufacture some type of black celebration and we done made it, y'all. Man, the average black person out here in the streets ain't worried about that shit. Black folks is out here trying to get reparations. Trust me, there's more black people who are on code wanting reparations than black folks who are out here having plantation celebrations about some Wynch court justice. All right, that's a fact. As I started off earlier, I've been out here meeting with a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, black folks, and we trying to build something, and nobody was talking about her. Only time I even seen her come up was on the news. When you walking down the street and you going to work and you at the barbershop, nobody is speaking about her. And I've noticed anytime she does come up, real ones shut that shit down. Shut it down. So everything is real manufactured. They're going to pull out the Clyburns and they're going to pull out all the coons and they're going to do that shit. But they're only doing that on TV, on the Tell Live Vision. And they telling a whole lot of lies. Because certified black society, we ain't going for that. We've seen it all before. Like we said, there has been a decrease in numbers when you start talking about these Sambos. Ain't as many as there used to be, y'all. And you can credit us for that shit. You can credit us for that. So they can run with their fake game and their con game, and that just lets you know how much more we in full swing and we're in full effect. The fact that they got to manufacture cooning. Damn, don't that tell you that On Code is running shit right now? Yes, it is, and we're the ones who are doing it, and it's gonna stay that way. We made it that way, so we're gonna keep it. Facts. But listen to this. I'm gonna play a little interview real quick. This was on some TV show. I don't even remember. I think it's Morning Joe. They had Clyburn on there. And listen to how they had to manufacture emotion. Like, you can hear the W sitting there saying, oh my God, can you believe this? I can't believe it. And he's speaking with this fake tone and shit, and his voice is cracking because he's trying to get the emotion. Like, you literally see him having to pull the emotion out of people because people ain't emotional and people don't give a fuck. So he's trying to force us into that, and black folks ain't going for it. Clyburn is talking, stumbling, no one's going for it. So I'm gonna have y'all listen to this shit and listen how fraudulent it is. And at the end of this, you're gonna know that we on code and we got him shook.
As you know, because you've been talking about it, we've been through a pretty rough 5 or 6 years as a country, especially on issues of race. But yesterday, we saw a black vice president who's a woman announce a vote to send a black judge to the United States Supreme Court. The first time ever. Just wondering, given all the challenges we've had, what does that moment mean?
Hey, listen to the W's in the back. You hear him trying to get all emotional and sappy with the shit? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Listen to his tone. He's sitting there saying, what does that mean to you? Do they ever have this type of energy for the Breonna Taylors of the world? For the Corinne Gaines, the Rakita Boys, the Sandra Blands? You never hear them talk with this type of emotion. But when it come down to some fake symbolism, now all of a sudden he sounds like he's on the verge of crying and shit. His voice is cracking. And you hear the co-host Karen in the back. She making the same sounds. Bullshit.
Oh, it meant so much to me. I have 3 daughters, 2 granddaughters. I really sat down with them 2 years ago, a little over 2 years, and I asked them what were the undercurrents floating around now before the South Carolina primary. And one of the things had to do with the Supreme Court, the fact that no black woman had ever been seriously considered. And there were 4 women that had been on the Supreme Court. What's this about, they would say to me. And that's why when I sat down with Joe Biden to tell him that I planned to endorse him in the South Carolina primary, but I thought it would be helpful if he made it very clear that if given the opportunity, he would break through that glass ceiling. He made that promise, and he's kept that promise.
Now listen to Clyburn. He's giving y'all the same fucking I've got 3 kids and we've come so far, and he's spewing out all these symbolic gestures, but not one thing that's tangible. Not one. He himself is a politician, and he can't point to anything tangible that he's ever done for black people. But he'll give you a bunch of symbolic lies, because that's all black politicians do. Just like when I called into Jason Black in the Black Authority a couple weeks ago, and his question was, who do black politicians work for? And I said they work for their plantation, whether that's liberal, conservative, Democrat, or Republican, red or blue. They work for their plantation, and their only job is to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. But they can't do that shit with us. Listen more.
Talk about the arc of what you've seen in your lifetime and why it's so important now to move past what we've seen the past 5 years and continue moving toward a more perfect union.
Well, I'm glad you put it that way, because when I try to say to people all the time that when we look at these things, we have to see the glass as being half full rather than half empty. And the problem that we've had in recent years, I think, is that everybody wants to focus on the glass being half empty. If we do like John West told me when he gave me a little lesson early in my career, he said, when you look at that glass, you see it as being half empty. When I look at that glass, I see it as being half full. That is because of the differences in our backgrounds and our experiences. And he sent me back to my office and said, let's see what we can do to continue filling up this glass.
Wow.
And so that's what I think we have to do. There's so much has been done. This president has passed the Rescue Act. He's done the bipartisan infrastructure bill. We have a magnificent, you know how hard it is to do the appropriation bills. We've got a record-setting appropriation bills. And so the glass is being filled up.
Now, you notice every single policy that he presented was non-specific to FBA. Not one. They think they could just get away with this shit and let it slide because they're used to the past when they could do that. No. Done. Over with. B1s and certifieds, we ain't going for none of that shit. We gonna ask about some specifics, and we gonna question you about some specifics, and we gonna put pressure on you about some specifics. If you think you're gonna come in here and just say a bunch of fucking laws or a bunch of fucking policies that got everybody else's name on it and try to feed that shit to us, we gonna reject it, and you're gonna hear about it. And that's why Joe Biden's gotta go and get him a Bedouin's court justice. That's why. And they've always had a history of doing what Neely Fuller calls a showcase black. Putting one black person in a high position and saying, oh, all of you guys are like this. Think about that. No other community would celebrate one person getting a job when the other 40 million of them are the highest in the unemployment rate. Hold up, let me say that 2 times. They got folks out here celebrating one job title from one person when the rest of the community has the highest unemployment rate. One job, one person, all that seat at the table and representation. Has that ever changed black economics? Has that ever changed black education? Has that ever changed black unemployment? No. And when a party can get the community that has the highest unemployment rate to dance in the streets for one person's job title, goddamn. That'd be like one person in your family works at McDonald's and everyone else celebrates, but they celebrating on the streets because they homeless. That's where it is. Okay, enough of this. Everything that we've talked about in Certified Black Society, you heard in this small little clip. They literally went through every single fucking trick that they had and they pulled it out. They went from the emotion to the fake symbols to policies that are non-specific that benefit everybody except for us. The coon babble, the MASSA babble. Did you notice how when the MASSA was talking, he was feeding Clyburn his talking points, and all Clyburn did was regurgitate everything that MASSA told him to. AKA, MASSA W held his hand and told him this is what the fuck you need to say. And that's pretty much how you sum up a black politician. MASSA gives them all their orders and they say, yes, sir. And that's all it was. Either they tell your ass directly, see behind closed doors, he's telling Clyburn this is what the fuck you gonna say. On national TV, all he does is he leads the conversation and Clyburn follows along. That's exactly what happened. Now you notice this was some bullshit because how it started off. He said, especially in the last 5 years. You know, because the system of supremacy is only 5 years old, right? Okay, bullshit. Then he says, Clyburn's been speaking on these issues. Yeah, you know, because always going along with the dominant society is speaking on black issues. Bullshit. Then he also says we've had problems with the issue of race. Race is not an issue, supremacy is a system. One that they all work for, from the news anchor to the cameraman to the person doing the makeup. All they actually work for the system of supremacy. And what we are doing is race regulating that shit, and they are shook right now, and that's what's got them on the panel, trying to feed us these lies and feed us this con game and act like he gives a damn, because trust me, he doesn't even want to do that. He doesn't want to act. Supremacy, they would prefer not to act. They would prefer not to play the we care about y'all black folks game. He'd rather be at home eating Karen's Brussels sprouts and watching the original Birth of a Nation. That's what he'd rather be doing. But instead his ass is on this panel trying to play the I'm a good ally game, and he's got a coon that he can talk to. And they're only doing that is because the poll numbers are going down, the symbology is being rejected, and B1s are in the motherfucking place. Know that. So these are some things that we got to understand and we got to take solace in, and we got to know that we're pushing the game right now and we're pushing the line. The very fact that they got to go pick a Supreme Court justice to appease us. Yeah, listen what I said. They are going to the highest courts in the world, really, because I don't give a damn. If it's in America, it's the highest in the world. So in the highest courts of the world, they worried about foundational black Americans, and they're making counter moves to us being on code. Don't that mean that the code is powerful? Just like I said a few weeks ago, when the president of the Ukraine in the middle of a war is quoting Martin Luther King so he can muster up some support from us. Doesn't that mean that being on code is powerful? Yeah, it's not a game, it's real time. And the very fact that everyone has to counter our moves lets you know that we got something going, y'all. We got something going for real. And this summer, it's gonna be a hot summer. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a real long hot summer. And I'm telling you, B1 is gonna be pushing that wave all the way through. All the way through. It doesn't stop. They're gonna keep coming with the games and the cons, and we're gonna keep race regulating their ass step for step, play for play, day to day. And that's the only way it can be, because that's how it's supposed to be. And speaking of that, I got even more cosplaying and acting. So as we just had these W's acting like they give a damn, let's play old girl, Brown Jackson. Let's play her. I forgot her name again. You see how quick that shit happens when you're irrelevant? When a motherfucker's irrelevant, you forget their name very quick. And I forgot hers in a matter of minutes, so I guess she's very irrelevant. Plus, I'm too busy focused on reparations right now to worry about what a coon is doing. So let me play you a little clip right here where she was talking about, I'm the hope of a slave, and like Dr. Maya Martin Luther Angelo King. She couldn't get the name right. Hey, you can hear her as she's saying it, trying to figure out who she's talking about. Just like when Kamala Harris was talking about Phife Dawg and Tupac, she can't get Martin Luther King and Maya Angelou correct. These are non-FBAs. I'm telling you, the same way you have a motherfucker come and say, I'm from Brooklyn, word up son. It's the same fucking way with these non-FBA politicians that they put in front of us. It's the same way. She didn't know what she was saying and she couldn't talk right. She said she's the hope of slaves, and then the sentence was kind of funny, like, even W's were looking at that shit and they kind of cringed a little bit, like, because it was so awkward. Like, I couldn't really get the vibe or what she was going for. She didn't really say it right. Then she kind of fake cried. Everything about it was fraudulent. And pretty much everyone who saw it was like, what the fuck was this? And then the news anchors just jumped over it. They were like, yeah, she said that, boom. They wanted that to be some type of big watershed moment where they could put it on posters and say, did you see her crying last night? Oh, it affected the nation. You know what I'm talking about. So they can pull that whole, it affected the nation, and it's the change in the course of history, and race relations are getting better. They try to make it some big movie theater thing. And she botched that shit. She fucked it up so bad. And everybody kind of laughed or just like cringed on it. So they just kept it moving. But B1s, we did what we always did. Motherfuckers caught that shit, put a clip of that, ran it on the internet, and everybody was clowning. Everybody. Because like I said, we clown these motherfuckers. When we ain't busy race regulating, we clowning their asses. And either they gonna run off the block from this regulation, or they're gonna run off this block from humiliation. But either way, their asses is gonna get to running. Listen.
Poetic words of Dr. Maya Angelou. Poetic words of Dr. Maya Angelou. Poetic words of Dr. Maya Angelou. I do so now while bringing the gifts my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave.
Damn, what the fuck was that? I had to play that a couple times. It was that bad, y'all. That bad. I mean, the acting is terrible. I said it before, man. They make Barack Obama look like he knows what he's saying. Shit, she made Barack Obama look like Chief Keef. God damn, bad. I never thought, real talk, I'm not lying. Hey, a hand to the sky, I'm not fronting. I never thought that they would get a politician that played being black worse than Kamala Harris does. Family, feel me. I know y'all feel me. If you're rocking with me, rock with me now. Did you ever think in your life that they would actually find somebody who's worse at playing black than Kamala Harris is? Damn. I mean, Kamala Harris can't even fucking two-step, ain't got no rhythm, don't know rappers, don't know when they was born, got Timberlands that scuffed up. I mean, she's just pathetic. And they found somebody who's even worse than that, and they did it in less than a year? Damn. There ain't no shame in the Democratic Party, y'all. No shame in the Democratic Party. If this was a boxing match, B1's got them motherfuckers against the ropes, knees wobbling. I'm talking about they about to hit the mat. Boom. This is where we got them right now. We got them so desperate that all their tricks and cons have been rejected. All their games and all their fake hustles have been rejected, and they're just resorting to making fools out of themselves. This is what happens when you B1 and you on code. I don't give a fuck how big you think you are. I don't give a fuck how strong you think you are. And I don't give a fuck how many coons work for you. When we show up and we put down our game, everybody else follows suit, including apparently the dominant society. This is why they gotta make these moves, and they gotta literally alter the system to strategize against us. So I take that as a motherfucking compliment. Shit. I take it as a motherfucking compliment. That just means that we doing the right thing, and that means we doing it the right way. I already knew that, but apparently they know that. So it's on and popping from here on out, and we just got to keep this thing moving. Let's transition all of this into our reparations claim. Let's transition all this into power. We passed the idea stage. Now we got to go into the action stage. You feel me? All the ideas are there. Like, we formulated for the last few years how to get our minds right. Now it's time to get our money right. And I'm not talking individually. I'm talking collectively. And I think we can do that. As a matter of fact, I know we can. Why do I know we can? Because our minds are too focused and our code is too strong to ever waver. You feel me? All right, feel me now. We are too strong on that, so we got to just stay on course. It's one of them situations where we don't have to do anything different, just do everything better. That's it. We are already on the right path. We don't have to go this way or that way. We don't have to figure out where we're heading. All we got to do is just stay on course and we'll be there. We done already hit the motherfucking home run. All we need to do now is round out the bases. I'm gonna keep doing what I do. You keep doing yours. We'll meet right there at the boss's table and we'll make boss moves. And every time we make a boss move, apparently they gotta go make a desperate move. And that's when you got them where you need to have them. Big facts. All right, yes indeed, everybody. This has been another episode of the Black Alpha Cast. Hit me up on Twitter, BlackAlphaNetW1. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. However you found this channel, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the passion. Everybody knows, man, I got a lot of energy, and we put it down for the, certified, and we represent everybody out there who's on code. And at the end, I always got to bring it back home and reel it in to make the most serious point, and that is we got to stay safe out here, man, and take care of each other. Nobody's going to take care of us like us. We started this game off by ourselves, and we're going to end this game by ourselves. We started this game off with just each other, and we're going to end with just each other. Like the old saying is, man, we all we got. But what we got is better than everybody else. That's why they all try to act like us, and that's why they all try to imitate us, but they never can. Well, let me add to that. We're exceptional people living an exceptional life. And as long as I got all my brothers, sisters, kings, queens, the goddess and the gods, then I know everything is good, and we gonna get everything that we want and achieve everything that we go for. And I say that without a doubt in my mind. I guarantee it. So I want all y'all to stay good out there, man. And I hope everybody you love is good. I hope everyone's healthy. Stay focused, stay strong. We all in this together, man, but we make it look damn good too. Yes, we do. So shout out to all my foundational Black Americans, all my B1s, and of course, all of my certified Black society. Much love as we keep this thing going. Certified energy. But yo, hit me up on Twitter and pull up to my Twitter spaces. Make sure you do. We're going to bring them things back every single week. And call, come up, talk, pull up, chop, man, so we can get it done. The more we put our minds together, the more we put our brains together, the more we get done. And I'm trying to make it all happen, man. Straight up and down. So yo, I salute everybody out there. Stay good, stay strong, and remember one thing. Black is beautiful, and beautiful is black.